Thank you, Wendell. Good evening. We start off tonight's regional news by telling you that Trinidadian opposition leader Kamla Prasad-Bissessar has called for international observer teams to monitor the 2020 general election. In a letter to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, Prasad-Bissessar, who is also political leader of the United National Congress, stated that international election observation is an important mechanism for ensuring election integrity and drew reference to the ongoing debacle over the results of the March 2 elections in Ghana. She noted that while the United National Congress acknowledges the ongoing global COVID-19 pandemic and the public health regulations that are currently in effect, they are very concerned that measures are not in place to ensure citizens are able to exercise their franchise. She indicated to Rowley that he can attest to the importance of international and regional observers in national elections today, as he was part of the CARICOM delegation that visited Guyana on March 11, 2020 to meet with the main actors concerning their election impasse. She called for exemptions to be granted to international observers as early as possible so that the quarantine period can be completed well ahead of the general election. Prasad-Bissessar stated that a responsible government should do the right thing to ensure not just free and fair elections, but elections that are free of fear. She awaits Rowley's urgent response and actions. Moving on to a bit of news regarding Liat. Antiguan Foreign Affairs Minister Chet Green is questioning why St. Vincent Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is so keen on collapsing Liat. He said, "For the life of me, I can't understand how someone so steeped in Caribbean integration, someone who is knowledgeable about the integration process, would be so moved as to collapse a regional institution in preference for what is clearly a localized arrangement that will benefit a single economy, St. Vincent and the Grenadines." Gonsalves has been actively promoting two St. Vincent airlines to take over the route that Liat once dominated. Prime Minister Gaston Brown says both Gonsalves and Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley have shut down talks aimed at a new Liat. Green posited that while nobody wants to hear the sound of the words loss or losses, when you look at the global trend of the airline industry, since COVID-19, a number of airlines have folded. He added that he did not hear anything being put on the table except narrow island interests, where PM Gonsalves is saying he has two airlines, one Caribbean and SVG, which can fill the void left by Liat. Green is calling on the Vincentian Prime Minister to re-evaluate his position. And finally, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has gone all in on hydroxychloroquine to help his coronavirus-ravaged country beat COVID-19. He has pushed his government to make the malaria drug widely available and encourage Brazilians to take it, both to prevent the disease and to treat it. Now, the far-right populist is putting his convictions to the ultimate test. Bolsonaro on Tuesday announced that he had tested positive for the disease and was taking hydroxychloroquine. Bolsonaro said in a televised interview that he had taken an initial 2 doses in conjunction with an antibiotic and felt better almost immediately. His only regret, he said, was not using it sooner. Later in a separate video, he gulped down a 3rd pill. He said he was aware of other treatments but noted none of them had been proven to work. Bolsonaro's illness is a potent symbol of his government's botched response to the outbreak. More than 1.7 million people in Brazil have tested positive for coronavirus and nearly 68,000 have died. Only the United States has performed worse. His interest in hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine has its roots in early reports from China and France about the drug's potential to help COVID-19 victims. Sources have confirmed. Well, that has brought us to the end of tonight's regional news. Thank you for watching, and back to you, Wendell.